except when he's seeing, I suppose, Donald Trump's face, in which case he finally feels home, like a carrier pigeon with a little mini barrel attached to its legs, with a note attached to the little barrel that says contains syphilis. This is how Trump constantly yelling, "You're fired." Is that useful? Well, for Trump, it's, remember, it was supposed to be on brand, and he never fired anybody on The fucking Apprentice. The producers did, and he never fired anybody on in his own White House. He had other people do it for him. He was too chicken shit. Even Comey, he had somebody else tell him. And you're the president. You'd think, like, if you're like who he says he is, you'd think he'd take to that like a fucking pig to slop, right? He couldn't wait to do it. I'm now the president. I could fucking fire anybody. I could fire people who aren't even working in government. Hold on, what the fuck? Is it me, or is there no audio coming from that? Yeah, there is. Please tell me. I mean, that's kind of beautiful. Please tell me that that's a silent clip. All right, I'll reload it, maybe.
These are incredible times, astounding achievements, almost miraculous.
Almost miraculous? What? That he lost Vermont and D.C.? That he got 60-40 in most states? Even states he swept at 98%, he got 70% in? Meanwhile, Joe Biden loses American Samoa to a guy who's to the right of him. You're welcome, I guess. And then everywhere else, Biden gets 90%, and the only place he gets 81% is in Michigan or Minnesota, where they do this specific, uncommitted thing, which is people threatening to vote for this motherfucker who would flatten Gaza and has said so.
Scope, Donald Trump prevailing as he has with everything he's up against, right? The cultural.
What's he up against in the fucking Republican part? It's the Republican primary, dumb fuck. It's a trapped audience.
Opposition, the institutional, governmental opposition.
What is that? How does that affect you as the nominee?
They're trying to put the man in prison. They have.
Right, but how does that have any impact on a fucking primary? You guys either like him or you don't. You're either convinced that what they're doing is right or you're not. And if he's only getting 60-40, a huge fucking chunk of the people who voted for him last time aren't going to vote for him this time.
Arrested him. And yet he wins like he's winning. It is incredible.
Except in Vermont and D.C., obviously.
We've never seen anything like it.
Yes, you have. Well, I'll tell you what you haven't seen is a previous Republican president who's had to run opposed for a second term. I mean, since, I don't know, what the fuck, since Nixon? I don't know.
And no matter what happens, he is perhaps the most successful person ever in American history in terms of.
What the fuck are you talking about? The most successful? What's your determination of success? Largest fine ever? Being 3 marriages deep, and most people are like, where the fuck is his wife? Why isn't she campaigning with him? What the fuck? No, asshole. He had opposition in the Republican Party from a woman of color, the lowest possible person on the rung of people that Republicans generally want to vote for, and she still trounced him in 2 contests and shaved off 30% of his vote everywhere. Fucking everywhere.
Of, well, achievement.
Sure. In terms of achievements. Like what has he achieved? Convincing a bunch of dumbasses at Deutsche Bank that his building that has 62 floors has 74?
Well, wait a second. He didn't win re-election. We can talk about the election of 2020 and.
Yeah, go ahead, asshole. Get your network in deep shit again. Do that. You know what? Actually, I can. And here's what happened. He fucking lost. But you can't. You cannot. He's like, we could talk about the election. No, you can't. Your bosses at Newsmax will tell you to shut the fuck up. You will lose your job. If you start throwing around the rigged and stolen bullshit that he's throwing, you're gone, dude. They don't have the fucking $748 million that Fox has.
But let's pretend for a moment, okay, just a one-term president.
Uh-huh.
Look at everything else in addition to becoming president, all right?
Yeah, he's still with his high school sweetheart. They maintained through the years, raised, a bunch of great kids who don't do drugs or kill, stake down rare animals and on asshole uber rich safari trips. He's never been caught on tape, at least, bragging about grabbing women by the pussy while he was married. He dodged that whole paying off a porn star thing.
I know he came from an established family, right?
Yes, criminally established. It was established early on in the 70s that he and his father were both racist who wouldn't rent to black people. That would be it, I think.
A well-to-do family, but he turned Trump into an international brand, right?
Yes, it stands for gaudy bullshit. It became a running gag. That's why he hasn't built anything since the 90s. Chat wants to know if Hal's showing the speech. I plan to, although I feel like we can all go watch it. I'm checking in on this thing. Hold on. Let's see. We're going. They're still running it in the background. Yeah, they're still wandering about in there. Because it doesn't. It officially starts at my time, like 7 o'clock, though, right? No. Yes. 5 o'clock. It was on the thing. It starts at 5 p.m. West Coast time. Okay. Well, we're getting pretty close to it. So yes. 5. Okay, 5. Yeah, it starts in 1 hour. 6 West Coast. There you go. That makes sense. Because that was at the end of my show. That's what I thought. So it's at the end of my show. So technically, I'd like to stop and just watch it, if you would, and then I'll go over it because we can just watch. Like, I'm not gonna interrupt it. There's no reason to necessarily. So I'll just, if that's cool with you guys, we can all just go watch it. In that regard, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Anyways, where's this dickhead? Okay, back here. Yes, Trump has done for has turned his name into a brand for construction, kind of like Epstein is for finances and day trading.
A billionaire. The name is known globally even before he went into politics, right?
Right, as gaudy, gold leaf bullshit.
He writes a book. He goes into...
Somebody else wrote the book.
He becomes an author. The number one...
No, he didn't become an author. He sold a book. He had a book with his name on it. He had a book ghost written.
Best-selling business book ever.
No, not even close. It is not the best-selling business book ever. Hold on. Let's see. I mean, it'll probably say that if I look it up on Google because of best-selling business book ever. Let's see. All right. Let's see. What are the best-selling business books of all time? Hold on. God damn it. Scroll. 100 best-selling. Okay. Let's see. Here they are. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Powerful Lessons in Personal Change. Read it. Yep. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read it. As you can tell. Good to Great, Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't. I have not read that, which is why I have a hard time telling people to like and subscribe and give a thumbs up and patreon.com/HalSpark. Zig Ziglar, yes. Oh, we love Zig Ziglar. You got to have goals if you want to get ahead. Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. David Allen's GTD system is the go-to for people who are, even when people make like list apps like Things and all those apps for helping you do, checklists and all that stuff, that they use the GTD system that he created. The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell. It's one of the newer books on the list. It's number 5. CEO Stories, Children Employed by Owners. I don't know what the fuck that is. Think and Grow Rich, that's always part of it. Influence, I've read that as well. Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, I have not. Or have I? Maybe if you read it, you don't talk about it. Flow, I've read that one. It's about a waitress who worked at Mel's Diner who was just amazing at sales. She could get anyone to kiss her grits. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Outliers, The Story of Success. Also, Malcolm Gladwell is apparently doing well. 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. I feel like I've read it, but I haven't. First, Break All the Rules. What the world's greatest managers do differently. I'm not a manager, so I haven't read that. Made to Stick. Why some ideas survive and others die. The Lean Startup. Built to Last. Blink. The Power of Thinking About Thinking. E-Myth Revisited. Drive. The Surprising Truth About What Motivates. Effective Executive. The One Thing. I've read that one and I fucking hate it. That's the first book on here where I would go, fuck that book. The One Thing is bullshit. No job, especially being like a CEO or the top of something, only does one thing. Like think of it like I would do one thing. I want to be the greatest director ever. Well, the greatest director ever would know screenwriting and know acting and know editing and all these things. You wouldn't just know the one thing. There's no way to know that one thing. You need to know more about the props than your prop person does, because that's what being a director is. And it drives me fucking crazy. Never mind. Anyways, I digress. Oh, The Places You'll Go, Dr. Zeus? Sure. Yeah. The Innovator's Dilemma, Thinking Fast and Slow, which is great. This one's about like CIA thinking and like thinking like a spy to keep yourself from being persuaded by other people. Art of War, In Search of Excellence, Blue Ocean Strategy, The Personal MBA, Master the Art of Business. Why do I want to buy some of these and start reading them right now? The 1 Minute Manager. I'm just rework, quiet. Now I just go to The Purple Cow. There's another Seth Godin book. Emotional Intelligence to a Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Kiyosaki's full of shit, but whatever. Leadership, Self-Defense, great. Titan, Steve Jobs. I don't. We're at 73 now. Did I scroll past it? I must have missed it in the first 10. It's the number one, is it? It's number one, is it? Well, I guess not. Look at number 100, though. I would argue, this is how upside down my fucking career is. The 80-20 principle, The Secret to Achieving More with Less. I'm a big fan of this book. 80-20 principle is actually great. Yeah. Just saying, for the record. Meanwhile, no. Not only did he not write it, but it's not even on the list.
Part of the deal, ever, goes into
Not ever. Just silly. You're a silly person.
television. It immediately becomes the number one show, I believe, in the history of television up
No, it isn't.
until about 2004, 2005.
Bullshit.
Then he goes into politics, takes up
Again, not even close to true. What the fuck are you talking about?
on 15 career politicians.
Yeah, but all of them, according to him, dipshits and completely incapable of doing anything right, and losers and suckers and idiots and people who can't, which is why he put several of them in his cabinet. Somebody asked, do I speed read? Yes, I do, which is why I need paper copies of the books that I have, because you can't speed read. The technique I use to speed read, you cannot do it on an iPad, because if you move your fingers across the page, which is how I trace the words as I'm doing it, it makes the page move because it's digital. It's kind of aggravating. It works with a Kindle, I think. So,
Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and on his first run ever for office, didn't try the Senate first, governorship, no, the presidency, and wins. And how did he do it? By talking to the people.
No, by winning the Electoral College, because a bunch of progressive assholes phoned it in and gave him 3 states he didn't earn. He lost by 3 million votes.
It was very old-fashioned in a sense.
Very old-fashioned. Yes. Like an old-fashioned racist just winning on the Electoral College. Yep.
Going out night after night with interesting ideas, specifics, and talking to the people about them.
Like what? What would be the specifics? Having the best words and knowing the best people, and that the best people will come in and make deals so fast that it'll make your head spin. That whole thing, which, by the way, when did he was talking about the China deal. You guys remember that, right? He was talking about the China deal when he ran for office in 2015, 2016. Anybody remember when he actually signed phase 1 of his three-phase China deal? When was that? It's so fast, make your head spin. During COVID, if you're just joining us.
And he wins. He wins. And
then he loses.
They will never forgive him for winning, for doing what he did to Hillary Clinton. Well, that is their...
Actually, no. Nobody's grinding on what he did to Hillary Clinton. It's what he did to the fucking country, dummy.
Problem. One of the reasons why
nice, Mary.
I think he resonates so much with the people.
The people? The people? Which people? You mean the people in the villages? Or
we've heard politicians say for a million years, I'm
going to get us out of Afghanistan, and it's going to happen so fast, you don't have to worry about it. We have the stupid people. I know all the best people will be out of there and just say, we're going to have a deal with China so fast, we're not even going to, and you're going to be tired of winning. You're going to be, I'm tired of winning. Now, you might be so tired they put you on a ventilator while we wait for a vaccine, but you're going to be tired of winning. Yes, I remember those promises. I'm going to build a wall, a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico's going to pay for it. 100%. I remember, yeah.
Fight for you. I'm going to get to Washington and do this, and then they don't.
You're right. They usually go there and just pass a giant corporate tax cut and blow a hole in the budget and tell people to go fuck themselves.
They certainly don't fight. We saw it. We saw Donald Trump fighting every...
Well, struggling with a teleprompter is not fighting.
Every single day, right?
No, you didn't.
Right? There was no cakewalk. They tried to sabotage him. Yet, he got things done, amazing things done. You know, he wasn't afraid to get red in the face for America.
What? He wasn't red in the face for America. He was red in the face because he was busted for paying off a porn star. Because he knew in the re-election, the fucking evangelicals didn't need him anymore because he'd already put the people in the Supreme Court. He was like, fuck, I'm done. They don't need me anymore. My transactional relationship with these people is fucking over. And now this little piece of news is going to give him an excuse to kick me to the curb and put Pence in there. I better get some of my fucking fans to hang him.
He told me once, you can get anything done in life if you're not afraid to look bad.
And that's been the rallying cry of Greg Kelly Reports since its beginning, really. It's the whole point of this show is if we just keep looking bad and doing a terrible job, eventually something great will happen. Like the cancellation of the Greg Kelly Reports.
Barack Obama. Think he was ever going to break a sweat for America?
Well, he didn't have to. And also, even right there, this is Trump getting mad at someone for questioning the crimes he was committing.
The Mr. Right? Mr. Cool, collected, comfortable.
Yeah, cool, collected, comfortable. That's what we called him. Mr. Cool, collected, comfortable. Not in those not in that order. Obviously, they could shuffle them. It's like those little boxes when people juggle the boxes and they put them together, whatever. We did any of them, any word order worked really well. I'm sorry, do you need a president that fucking panics?
No, it was all about him.
For you it was. But for him, it was trying to get health care to 45 million people who didn't have it.
And another thing, he said it and he did it. I was there when he made the announcement. Very, very specific. Most politicians, it's pretty broad, you know?
Yes, bullshit about like, I'm going to build a wall, a big, beautiful wall across the entire southern border, and Mexico is going to pay for it 100%. You know, vagaries like that.
And when they get specific,
I'm going to get us out of Afghanistan so fast, it'll make your head spin. We have stupid generals. I'll know the good generals, the bad generals, but I'll make the decision that will get us out of there right away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really small. You don't want to make big promises because everybody will remember. And what if you fail? What if...
You mean, what if Mexico doesn't pay for the wall and it doesn't actually help the border and it actually makes it worse because of the access road you had to build something that size?
If you don't even try. Well, that doesn't apply to Donald Trump, does it?
Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump.
ISIS-K is actually the organization that killed our soldiers in Afghanistan as we were leaving. ISIS still exists. He left right after the general said the caliphate is over, but it didn't eliminate ISIS. They're permeate throughout the region. Of course they were. As soon as he could claim that he had destroyed 100% of the caliphate, which was more of like an organizational agreement between Russia and Assad than anything else, as soon as he could claim that, he was like, well, fuck them. I don't care. We're not going to fight that shit anymore. As a matter of fact, let Turkey kill some Kurds.
Nobody.
Also, what the fuck does that mean? Will never be tougher than on ISIS than Donald Trump. Nobody. Is that a specific?
ISIS took over a huge portion of the Middle East under Barack Obama, 2012, 2013, 14, 15. The vacuum that we left after our botched invasion and occupation of Iraq, ISIS, it's almost like a ghost now. Nobody remembers. They were chopped.
Right, because they were almost, I mean, even Trump was like, do we have to finish this off? Like, just blow it off.
Chopping off heads. They took over half a continent.
No, they didn't. What continent would that be?
And he did it. He beat them.
What continent are we talking about, young man? The Middle Eastern continent?
By changing the rules of engagement, by bringing in key personnel and making it happen. Funny how you never hear about that.
Well, that's because it was created by that vacuum which Bush started, and then the Obama administration got rid of most of it and was strategically getting rid of them in a way that wouldn't lead to more violence in the Middle East, which was the point. You know, the reason they thought it would take as long as it did is because they didn't want to kill civilians in the process. And for all you uncommitted folks, Donald Trump came in and told the generals that were working, screw Obama's rules of engagement, fuck that, fill your boots, do your worst, we don't care. And there were like 80% more, well, like there was many civilian deaths in the first year of Trump as there were in the entire 8 years of Obama in the war against ISIS. As many civilian deaths in the first 8 months, that was the triple eights, right? The first 8 months, 80% more in the first 8 months than there were in the entire 8 years of Obama. All together. Yeah, an equal number plus 80% more. But tell me again how, the Genocide Joe shit. Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, by the way, it was Joe Biden who told Obama, look, the generals are going to keep telling you that you got to stay in another 6 months or 9 months, no matter when you set the date. They're always going to tell you they need more time. We got to get the fuck out of there. We don't need to be there. And it will always be bad when they're leaving. You just got to take the hit. You got to go. And they didn't do it. They were very close under Obama, but it wasn't his presidency. It was Obama's presidency, and that was Joe's advice. Trump came in, said he was we'll get out of there so fast, it'll make your head spin. And then 4 years later, fucking nothing. Sets a date off into the next term, which we now know he wasn't even going to honor.
Anyway, that's okay. We're kind of used to it. Oh, but they're trying to lock him up. They're trying to lock him up.
Who's they? Also, you do know that, if Obama had wiped out 80% of the ISIS caliphate and then had stolen a bunch of classified documents that had gotten our spies and Israeli spies and fucking insiders that we had in Russia murdered, we'd feel the same way about him. But then, of course, he wouldn't be the same kind of person, and we wouldn't have voted for him in the first place, because if a Democrat came out and went, I grab a woman by the pussy, it's just what I do, they would have never fucking made it through the primary ever.
This is what you get for your troubles. This is what you get.
What troubles? He golfed the whole fucking time.
I have to say this, too. Every time I hear he is a lawless president, he's breaking the law, we must reestablish the rule of law.
Uh-huh.
You have to remember this. In addition to all these cases being total scams, he...
Yeah, they're not, but okay.
Always shows up. Every time he has a court date.
Okay, first of all, no, he doesn't. He wasn't there for the first E. Jean Carroll case, which cost him $5 million, and he was so mad about the $5 million, he wouldn't shut the fuck up about her, so he showed up at the second trial, which had already been after the guilt had been established, and it was just for further damages. And this dumb motherfucker cost himself $83 million. He showed up at the civil case, but he hasn't shown up at some of the like the other ones, simply because he can't use them. Once he showed up, if his lawyers can go, his lawyers just go. He doesn't go. He didn't have to. He went to his civil case, A, because it's his fucking money, and that's all he gives a shit about, and B, so that he could use it as a campaign stop, because there were more people standing outside in the hallway than there were at some of his fucking primary gatherings.
There he is. He's not a fugitive, all right? He obeyed.
He couldn't be, dumb fuck. Jesus Christ. Most of us are convinced it's Andy Kaufman wearing another version of the Tony Clifton suit in the first place.
He's the law. He's following all of these procedures, and then they hate it.
I thought he was being denied his due process. I thought this was a third world country, and this is what they do in third world countries. What procedures do you have in a third world country? Right? Am I missing something here? It sounds like he goes to the ones he has to go to, and then if he doesn't have to go, he doesn't go, except for the civil case where he goes to basically just tell his lawyers to make mistakes. I guess the only advice he's given him has cost him more money.
Even more, because they're reminded, oh gosh, this guy's got a private jet. Oh God, this guy, millions of people. They still like him after we tried to lock him up. And can we perhaps never look to the mainstream media again for anything?
So you're not planning a career in mainstream media, Greg? You just given up on that dream, have you? I think that's smart. I think it's wise. Popping that balloon's a good idea.
How wrong, and how long can you be wrong?
Well, I will say this. He does talk like Trump. Well, thank you, Carolina. That's Al Jazeera.
You get the picture, and we can go on like that, all right? And hours and hours and hours, thousands of hours of television footage. And
right, but you're not gonna go through and
the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
Greg, you're not gonna go through the thousands of hours of speeches.
Free health care for illegal. Look.
Where he says things like,
Michigan gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
or
Christopher Columbus. Christopher. Huh?
Here
I am like an idiot.
We're going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
Mm-hmm.
We have to slab it.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants people coming in from foreign countries?
That kind of thing, like
they are always wrong.
No.
You're watching the right show, though, because
well, yes, I do want to laugh. That's true.
I'm not like them.
Well, that's true. I mean, they actually are backing their. Now, here's the thing: they weren't saying that he's done. He's doomed means in the future, as we know. But even still, they're pointing to the fact like this is finally what's going to do it. He's been indicted. This is going to lead to the end of the bullshit. People are going to, and that's exactly what's happening. He lost a lot of these primary races 60-40. That's not a good sign.
And I don't care what they think about me.
They don't, though, Greg. They don't think about you. They honestly don't. I don't, unless a clip comes up. I really do. And it's kind of, and I got to say, when Greg comes up in the feed and CSL throws him in there as part of the daily hash of shit out there, I gotta say, I get a little heart flutter. I'm like, oh, here we go. This is gonna be good. This will be fun. And light too. You know what I mean? One thing about Greg Kelly is that his darkest moments are about himself on the bus. But for most of the time, this is you're a good bit of fluff, Greg. That's what I'll say about you.
And my batting average is pretty damn good.
I think he's going to win. Wisdom and Courage, December 10th, 2020. What do you mean your batting average? It's just you kissing his ass. Trump wasn't right. And why is he pointing at me?
So every step of the way, I was getting all kinds of pushback on social media, emails from my friends, even some relatives saying,
You look like a shithead. Are you nuts? This guy's a pussy-grabbing, second-generation rich kid.
what's with you and Trump? Don't you
Yeah, it's a little... Daddy issues much?
understand? This guy's finished. You need to find another candidate. You need to, I don't know, DeSantis or somebody. No, I didn't see it that way.
Dude, that's not... I would have kept that one out of there. I would have not... maybe this is what made your friends and your family call. Maybe this was the last straw. This was where you crossed the line. Yeah. Is that the episode where you were fantasizing about oiling him up after a debate?
I saw a man who
Had the body of Sylvester Stallone and the hair of a televangelist.
lived up to his promises and has a lot more to offer, had a lot more and has a lot more to offer this country.
Like
And folks, you and me,
Trump wins in a landslide. It could happen. September 26, 2023. Yeah, I mean, if there's a moment you've been right about something, it's that one. It's that 3 years after the last election he lost. It's saying it could happen.
I have a sense, if you're watching, we are on the right.
A madman, and that's a good thing. No, it is not. I mean, I guess it's a good thing if you fucking hate America.
Side of history. And that is a great place to be. We're going to look back at this time. And
Yes, we are, Greg. At some point, my friend, after the whole Trump bullshit is in the rearview mirror and he loses this election this fall, which he is going to do soundly, we're going to look back at Greg Kelly, the swing and a miss, the Greg Kelly show, and everything we were promised and denied.
we didn't give in. We didn't give up. By the way, this
We didn't give a fuck about America. We just suck up to Trump and hope one day he'll have us on speed dial.
is not all just pro-Trump stuff. I'm a very
Uh-huh.
realistic guy, all right?
Uh-huh. Well, you certainly showed your realism in that whole giving up on the mainstream media thing, because that gig's not coming.
Like when I saw Ron DeSantis, ooh, I like Ron, but I knew. And I said publicly in July of 2022, before he declared, that he's just not ready for the big job.
Asshole, that's you saying the same shit. That's just you running interference for Trump. That's not you. You're not a prophet for the fucking RNC. You were part of the media group that were trying to run interference for Trump to deny Ron DeSantis a chance. That was your point. That's what that fucking and also there's not going to be an ever. You got the fact that he ran and the fact that Trump reacted the way he did guarantees Ron DeSantis doesn't have a shot in the future.
Nice guys, got a lot of work to do. Smart guy too.
Citation needed.
Good governor, but it wasn't his time, and I told him so. All right.
Did you?
Sorry, but I'm going to continue this victory lap.
What victory lap? Your dude lost.
This is a special show.
It is. I've always thought so. You're a special guy, Greg. You're special. It's a special kind of special.
We present you a perspective that, is formed by experience. I was actually there in the room when Donald Trump declared.
Oh, yeah, he's shown this before.
All the way back June 16th of 2015. The entire press corps laughed at him. They
were disgusted by him.
Said it was a joke, literally. They put a clown face on Trump in the next day's newspaper. This is what I said 2 minutes after the speech.
I think he might be a game changer in this race. Listen to that speech. It's going to go over well in certain precincts in Iowa, New Hampshire. This is a big deal. This is not a joke.
All right. I am proud of that. All right. Enough about me.
Right. of course you like him. And as far as like game changer and certain precincts,
Let's talk about last night's victory. Oh,
if you'd have just said this guy's a winner, that would be the prediction. But being a suck up who liked Trump from the beginning and you wanted to do business with him or kiss his ass because if he drops out, you could still be his friend. That's what you would say. That's what you say when you're a New York suck up, Greg. That's not what you say when you've got your finger on the pulse of politics.
and the speech. I noticed, look, he was a little bit subdued, and that's
Subdued. Dude, he looked like he'd been tranked.
fine. That is
It is fine. He was a little, what's the word? I don't know. Sleepy? Is sleepy? Sleepy, I think. Sleepy could work.
totally fine. However he wants to do it. But you know who is really subdued? I mean, I felt like somebody died. Fox News. I was going around the dial. Did you see the panel over there? I mean, it was like CNN on election night in 2016.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand, they're under a lot of pressure. They have viewers. You don't have that kind of stress, Greg. You don't have to deal with that. I mean, they're sitting there going, here I am like an asshole sitting in, talking about Donald Trump who just, barely squeaked by the primary compared to the win he had in 2020, even after he lost. And I'm staring down the barrel of supporting a losing candidate no matter what I do in front of a screen that shows fucking 30 Rock for some reason. Like that's where America votes or some shit. Sitting in an ice desk like I'm I'm doing the Eskimo weather.
I didn't they see this coming? They were devastated. And also,
Maybe they were devastated because in Virginia, Trump got 71%. Maybe they were devastated because he won Virginia with 98% of the Republican vote. But this time he's got 71%. And everybody who's voting for Haley is an anti-Trump vote. They're not just voting for her. They're not just saying she's a superior candidate. As a matter of fact, she's saying that literally she's got more fuck this guy votes than she's got Haley votes. That's maybe, just maybe, why they're subdued. Also, I'm sure they'd love to talk about the 2020 election, but it cost them $754 million.
we're nitpicking Donald Trump. Oh, he should have said this during his speech. He should have said that during his speech.
Look, yeah, what the fuck do you know? He was sleepy. He was sweaty. Sure, he was rambly and slurry and talking out of his ass, but you don't know how to... He was president once for one term and won't be again.
It was too much of this, not enough of that. It reminded me, say somebody goes out and buys himself with his own money.
Is this a childhood story, Greg? A dildo. Sorry.
A Rolls Royce, okay? And drives it down the street. And everybody's critiquing him. Bad driver, drive faster, drive slow. He'll drive it.
That's what people write. Drive slower. This is what happens when you're like, we got an AI account. We can get some artwork made. What do you think? I don't know. This is going to be I guess his argument is just having the Rolls Royce makes you better than everyone else. It doesn't matter because they're not in the car. If they were worth a fuck, they'd be in the car with you.
Any way he wants. He knows what he's doing.
I see. In this analogy, if Trump's in the Rolls Royce, Fox is the engine, okay? Fox is the machine that got him into the White House, you dumb fuck. And the engine is sputtering. There's fucking washers and bolts falling out on the ground. There's smoke coming out of the fucking tailpipe and out from under the hood.
All right, next.
All right, by the way, that's a terrible analogy anyways, but thank you for setting me up for a really good analogy.
I said I wanted Americans to have their voices heard. I have done that.
That's right. She's allowed 30% of Republicans to go, fuck Donald Trump. I'm never voting for him.
I have no regrets.
Nikki. It's kind of fun to talk about Nikki. I might miss her in a weird way because
Dude, anytime you talk about a woman, it's a weird way.
she is one of the most bizarre creatures I've ever seen.
What the fuck is wrong with you? She was Donald Trump's pick for the UN ambassadorship. What the?
Even that, she just said, I let the people speak. I have done that. I let them be heard. I don't know what she meant by that.
She meant the chunk of voters that is not going to vote for Trump. And they made that abundantly clear through their votes for her that they are not voting for Trump, dum-dum.
And the other things she says are both bizarre and revealing.
I sought the honor of being your president. But in our great country, being a private citizen is privilege enough in itself. And that's a privilege I very much look forward to enjoying.
That is the insincere part, all right? That's who she...
Yeah, she doesn't want to be a person.
So phony. I look forward to being a citizen. That's like Barack Obama was pushing that. Next, please.
Wait a minute. How is this Barack Obama's fault?
In all likelihood, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee when our party convention meets in July. I congratulate him and wish him well. I wish anyone well who would be America's president.
There it is. She won't endorse him, huh?
Right, yeah. That's why she stayed in as long as she did, because she thinks he's horrible.
How about that? That is a real problem for her. She's finished politically. I guess this is all about money and power, corporate power. Who
Why? How would that be corporate power? What the fuck?
knows? But
yes. You know what? You're right. Just make it up. Who the fuck knows? It couldn't possibly be that she views herself as a principled Republican and it's really serious. How could anyone look at Donald Trump and not think of him as a serious human being that wants the best for everyone? I mean, besides the fact that you would have to have, water on the brain to think that.
she doesn't care about us. She would have offered a full-throated endorsement of Donald Trump. Anything to beat Joe Biden, right?
Nope.
If she really cared. Next.
No, here's the thing. He's probably going to get indicted, and she's got to hold out for the possibility that she could possibly be the nominee again. If he gets indicted, if he gets found guilty between now and then, there's a huge chunk of the voters that won't do that, and he'll lose some of the electoral, some of the primary votes that he got, and therefore she could probably swoop in, have a contested primary, at the RNC, and hopefully she could slip in there. If she endorses him, then what's the fucking point?
Next, please.
She'll lose the people that sided with her and give them permission to go there. Yeah.
I have always been a conservative Republican and always supported the Republican nominee. But on this question, as she did on so many others, Margaret Thatcher provided some good advice when she said, quote, "Never just follow the crowd. Always make up your own mind." It is now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him.
I don't
I don't like her. I don't like how she made me feel in my pants. I don't like the lady and she's mean and stuff. Hold on. Yeah, I can do it. Oh, good grief. Okay. Thanks,
like
Andrea.
this. First of all, when Margaret Thatcher said it with that accent, it sounded a hell of a lot deeper, and she was deeper, and she was making a point about faith and politics and the Depression. She's out for her own brand, and we can all see it.
Well, if she's out for her own brand and that works, then obviously she's speaking to something and a specific group of voters within the Republican Party. If those voters didn't exist, that wouldn't work. But it does, and you're afraid it will, because he's ice skating uphill with that group of people.
Donald Trump has to earn. Maybe he has to make the case. He has to make the case.
Same fucking thing. What's the difference? He hasn't earned it. or he wouldn't have to make the case. What it's oh God, split the
But
difference.
earning it, right? Groveling or something that a politician would do? No, he doesn't have to do that. Next, please.
Next, please. What did you borrow Mark Levin's fucking producer? Mr. Producer?
At its best, politics is about bringing people into your cause, not turning them away.
That sounded nice, right? It sounded
it's like watching him it's like watching a child try to learn the alphabet by shoving blocks in his ear. I like the sound of the letter B, but I don't like how it feels when I shove it in my ear.
sounded nice, but it's not nice.
I thought you liked Trump. He's never nice. What the fuck's wrong with you? He's shitty to everybody. Maybe that's his way of saying points, Nikki.
Let me see what you just said, please. We wrote it out. At its best, politics is about bringing people into your cause, not turning them away. Bringing people into your cause.
Work it out. Work through it. We'll wait. Think about it, Greg. Work on it. Let it boil. Let it simmer. Don't let it overflow. Watch out for it.
What about representing the people? You see, your cause, as if
the Republican, conservative cause is different from the Democratic cause, or how independents may think, and so it might require, fuck convincing people. They should just know. And also, Donald Trump speaks perfectly. He says exactly like it needs to be said. And if you can't hear it, it's not his mouth, it's your fucking ears that are the problem.
Your cause is different from the people. I know what she's saying. Sometimes you have to take an unpopular view and sell it to the people.
Right, like Trump was talking about. Well, the opposite of what Trump was saying about abortion, which is just lie. Just say what you need to do to get elected and then do whatever the fuck you want.
But at its best, bringing people into your... That sounds selfish to me. And
Jesus Christ, which is Trump's brand. She's stealing from Trump. Also, for fuck's sake, politics is not the voting part and the actually administering policy even. The politicking is the campaigning. It is the engagement with the people you represent or choose to represent or want to represent. Yes? That's the politics part of it. Once you're in office, you're kind of carrying out what would be that cause or whatever your party's platform is or whatever you won by talking about as your cause, what you are championing.
self-serving. Next.
Which, again, is Trump's brand. How dare she?
From the bottom of my heart, thank you, America. God bless you.
Jesus Christ. The longer he lets this go, the more I think he's going to go like, what's with that dress and where is she going? And she just left, and that's not what you do. She didn't wave at anybody. What a bitch, right?
And Nikki has left the building. What kind of walk-off was that? Who does she think she is? That was...
Right, what'd I say? What's she supposed to do? Mill around?
So strange. I don't mean to nitpick here, but where is...
Yeah, you do. And you were just shitting on Fox for nitpicking Trump.
Is everybody? Where are friends, family, support...
They're backstage. That's where she went.
She doesn't...
They're backstage. They're behind that curtain. They're there. There's some people probably out there, but they're going to meet her around back. That's it. It's no longer a campaign event because the campaign is over.
Have anybody. I'm sorry, Nikki. Nobody likes you. People love you, all right? I love everybody. I love every
fuck off
human being, but I don't like her. And unfortunately, in politics, you need people to like you, Nikki. Wow.
Maybe that's why Trump only got 70% in Virginia this time.
There was something just a little much. Anyway, Super Tuesday, Superman. Let me know what you think. We'll be right back.
It's an idiot making a desperate plea for love from Donald Trump. That's what I make of the Super Tuesday ? Superman. Also, would it be... sorry, you guys can't see that. That's my fault. Hold on. Let me slide this over. It says Super Tuesday ? Superman. Tuesday is just the name of the thing. Nobody questions that they call it Super Tuesday for a reason, because it's all these states at once and it's the biggest ones. But shouldn't the Superman be a question mark? Also, I love the fact that he put the space in there so they don't run into trouble with the copyright issues.
Back.
No, you won't. That's that.